Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Lily. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about my current work in progress. The title's name is The Further Down We Go. It is an adult science fiction thriller. Although I do label it as just science fiction, it is a cyberpunk novel. I am also in the process of querying at the moment. I've been querying for about 2 years now. That sounds like a long time. There are a lot of people who tend to get it a lot faster, but I will say that I know the reasons why it took me so long initially. The biggest problems that I ran into when I first started querying was I was just absolutely not prepared, and there were so many roadblocks in the way of me figuring out what I needed to know in order to properly query and to get the right amount of attention in the right spaces, and how I should write things and who I should be writing to. I don't think necessarily that it's not something that's available to people. It's out there. I think the reason I say gatekept is because when I was actively searching information on querying, I had to use industry specific terminology in order to find the things that I was looking for on querying. And I mean, when you're new to querying and you're new to the industry, it's really difficult to be able to use those words. But recently I was able to fix my query, and I wanted to come here so that I could kind of share some of my issues that I ran into while querying so that other people can have that available to them. But this is just a video about my current work in progress. I wrote The Further Down We Go about 3 years ago. I have been in the process of querying for 2 years. When I first wrote The Further Down We Go, it was a terribly messy draft. I went ahead and edited it for about 6 months, and then I went on query. That was not long enough. Wish somebody would have slapped me in the face and said that was not long enough. But I was also working full time. I had just left my family's house. I was 21 and there was a lot of shit going on. So I don't blame younger me for not being fully aware of the issues within all of the things I was submitting. I wrote it in 3 months. Some of my biggest inspirations at the time were the Netflix series Arcane and the anime Banana Fish. Banana Fish kind of explores abuse systems within crime, and the main character Ash has a mob boss that is constantly obsessing over him and abusing him in multiple different ways. The main character of my book is also a second hand to a large mob boss, and she experiences similar abuse, albeit a bit different. Thank you. If you check out my website, I actually have a personality quiz. So if you wanted to take that, it'll tell you which of my characters you are, and it gives, I think, a really good description of what each character is. After I finished the book, like I said, I started querying. I kept editing while I was querying. Don't know why, just thought I could do that. Great idea. It's not. Anyways, recently, me and my partner got into a car accident, and we had to move back in with my parents, and because of that, I have had an excessive amount of free time that I have been able to use to deep dive edit into my story. I have been using a Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 layout to do type edits and line edits, and I have also been rewriting large chunks and chapters, cutting out chapters, reframing chapters. I've been doing some really big works on this. I did start querying again about a month ago because I only have 1 or 2 surface level edits that I've been wanting to make, and the way that I am as a perfectionist, I will never feel like I'm done. So that's why I've been querying recently. I know in my heart now that it is ready to be published, and that's why I started querying again. But I still have things that I want to tweak and add and change because that's just who I am. I will always find a better way. Today I rewrote and finished chapter 18. What chapter 18 basically required that I cut out the previous chapter 18 and then kind of cinch it by using the chapter 17 prior and then chapter 19 afterwards, taking little pieces of each of those because I felt like that was a better break, and then writing a new transition between the 2 chapters just so that it added more than one thing. One thing that's important to do is to make sure that, when you have a scene in your story, it should be there for more than one reason. And I had a scene there that was beautiful and it was a good scene, but it was really there for only one reason, which was to showcase Jada's emotional arc and her changing, which awesome, but I could do that in 100 different ways. So I decided to kind of pinch those together and give it a new transition between those 2 chapters that was faster and snappier and also still gave that realization that she had a good amount of time. Other than that, though, all I have left to rewrite is chapter 4, and that was from a recommendation from a beta. I listened to a couple of really great podcasts about how to make your fighting in stories better, and one of the things that a lot of people talk about is how you can convey a deep amount of personality with the way that they fight. And since this one scene in chapter 4 is like the first time these two very important characters are fighting with each other, I wanted to make sure I could express their personalities in the fight scene. And the beta reader also pointed out that because I wasn't certain, they could kind of feel that uncertainty in my writing during the fighting scene. I'm going to rewrite that. I'm going to make that a little bit more succinct, and then I'm going to also give that a line edit and type edit after I rewrite it. The amount of books that I read that are like gay, slow burn, enemies to lovers, villain POV, and then it's like they're at school and they just kind of like aggressively flirt with each other. I want them to try and kill each other. That is what everyone wants. Why do you think it's called enemies to lovers? Anyways, but yeah, so they're quite enemies. They genuinely want to absolutely destroy each other. Yeah, it's a slow burn. But it is, I am so happy with it. So excited. I'm so excited for other people to get to read this. I've had some beta readers, they haven't gotten to the parts yet. And I am impatiently awaiting. I'm excited to see what they have to say. That's to say the least. Anyways, once I'm done editing that, I just have, again, like I said, surface level edit. I have to add a couple of characters' motives. So when I say that, I'm not saying that they didn't have motives beforehand. It's just I need to better express the motive that they have during these specific scenes so that it's clear to the reader. Tell me why I didn't get Query Tracker until I finally, it's like I gained consciousness after my car accident and was like, whoa, I need to rewrite my story. I need to get Query Tracker. I need to, like, what were you doing before that, girl? Like, yeah, like I said, I finished chapter 18 today. I'm going to be working tomorrow on chapter 4, and then that will be it for the amount of rewrites that I've been doing for individual chapters, and I will be moving on to just sprinkling in little tiny things all throughout the story. And I might take you along for some vlogs, show you my writing process. That's all. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.